wrong, but it's actually a bug. The percent. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell Vitor. Tell Vitor right now. Call him. Call him on the phone. Tell him, hey, Vitor, fix this. He'll get on it. V30, guys.
I think that is in the intention to swap to fix that in the next version. Though I don't mind not seeing swords so often. Oh, we get a map check to start. Pendants, Desert, and Hera.
Oh my gosh, that was actually really close to vanilla. If Eastern had just been green pennant, we would have been in there.
Yeah, I was actually very close. You're right.
So that's gonna. I imagine if like the first item is like the bow or something. I'm like, all right, well, there's one free crystal. All right, what are we getting today? It is Cane of Burna. Personally, one of my least favorite starting items, just because it's a slow item. It takes a bit longer to actually kill these, to kill anything, and it's going to make it a lot harder for these players to farm bombs in this run. Yeah,
I think Burna's become one of my least favorites because it's harder to farm bombs because of that. I mean, bombs execution-wise, I find tougher, but at least you've got your bombs for the back of escape.
I see the biggest issue with bombs is like some of these enemies you have to kind of go for kamikaze strats, and when you only have 3 hearts and bombs do a full heart of damage, it can get a little dicey there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially the rat in the sewer.
Yeah, that one is tricky, especially if he gives you like a bad pattern. Or you get sniped, like you're setting up to get him, and then just the rat that's over on the right just like hits you right in the back of the head, and you're like, oh, come on, man. I'm right here. Let me do my thing.
Yeah. And
Yo, vanilla.
Yep, that would be a vanilla map.
There's a bit of a trend I've noticed, and I've mentioned this before in this version of the game, that with this new randomized starting weapon, oftentimes you're going to find a second weapon of sorts in Escape. Even bombs can count as one, I guess, like from a chest or something. So
yeah,
we might still see like a hammer or a bow or a fire rod, or these players are going to get absolutely nothing, which is also funny.
Yeah. I have noticed that as well, that a second weapon does seem to be pretty common in here. So far, all we've seen is the 2 items that are guaranteed to be in here, which is the map and a small key.
Yeah, they just swap places. But where is that blue boomerang? That's what I want to know.
If it's in Zelda's chest, I'm going to start calling shenanigans.
I'll allow it. Both players pretty low on magic at this point. Going to be utilizing pot strats for sure on the ball and chain dude. And of course, you get that bad RNG, you get that green guard after you got to use another pot so he doesn't poke you and make you drop your pot.
Yep, exactly. Swerb making sure to use that last pot so he can get the key in an optimal location. And that's a red potion. At least that'll make an extra check in Kakariko available.
Yeah, it's always nice if you could streamline as many checks as possible in an area. So getting early bottle, early flute, hammer and powder, hammer, cane of Samaria, and mushroom, stuff like that. Just knock all of them out at once. But other than that, nothing so far. Fortunately for these players, there are a few magic drops in the back end in the sewers. They only have one more enemy they need to kill, but they're going to be wanting to farm some bombs so they don't have to come back here, because you never know. That those 3 chests in Escape could have Moon Pearl or Glove or something stupid. Like the Triforce. No, it can't have that.
At least the nice thing for the Escape is that if you need it, there are green potions available down there. Or green pots, just so you can get a little bit of extra magic.
I think there's 2 or I think it's 2 to 4 tiny magic decanters that you can grab, which is good to know, especially for Burna, Samaria, Fire Rod as your opening weapons. Noticing a lot though, all these green guards so far have had nothing but rupees, and I think we saw a magic drop from someone in the secret passageway where the uncle was. So hopefully the rats or the snakes are going to have bombs in their prize pack.
Yeah, I've noticed that those enemies tend to have it a little more often than the guards do. Swerb that is not electing to use the Cane of Burna there.
LewdDolphin taking a pot with him. He was trying to find a rat, and only a 5er. And the mirror. You know, that would have been nice at, like, one chest to go. If that was in Zelda Cell, the players could have, like, mirrored out to get back to, oh, wow. And before I could even finish, LewdDolphin utilizing that Cane of Burna to get 2 bombs from the snakes.
Yep. So that means that Swerb should be able to get a rat if he kills a couple, or a bomb if he kills a couple rats.
And there is one of the, it's Swerb getting bailed out by a bomb from the rat at the same time getting the key as well. So both players going to be able to full clear this portion, so we will not be seeing any backtracking, which is good to see. LewdDolphin down to half a heart. Gonna have to be a little bit careful here. 300 rupees. Big 20. Another big 20.
I believe that would be the treasury.
Yeah, that is so much money going into Kakariko. Fortunately for Lewd, the rats only do a quarter heart of damage, so as opposed to like a half heart. So he can take a few hits, especially with that heart drop. Yeah, he should be good to go.
Just an arrow upgrade there. So, biggest item we found in the escape was, well, the bottle and the mirror.
It's a very interesting opening set of items. Still no real weapon, because Burna's not really a weapon. Right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't count it as one.
Yeah.
You would be like, oh, right, I have Burna. Let me go take on this this incredibly difficult dungeon.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the only time I find Burna's good weapon usually is for blind. Oh, Swerb kills the bush crab. I think that might have been accidental.
Yeah, at this point, on his way to Kakariko is going to be looking for some more bombs so he can safely clear Blind's basement, bottom of the well. I couldn't see what was at Lumberjack.
Yeah, neither could I.
Only
let's
saw
see
the corner of it. Yeah.
I do like making this upper play when you don't have bombs, because it gives you several opportunities to find the bomb.
So you'll see 2 options from players. Either they'll just wing it and keep the same route to Kakariko and hope to find bombs from bush crabs or pull trees or even in Lost Woods. Let's see. Lumberjack was the okay.
Okay.
So, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to be seeing Aga Tower at some point.
I believe
that's hilarious.
That is correct. We need that bow 100%.
As I was saying, leaving the escape without any bombs, you'll see players do one of 2 things. They'll either just go ahead and go through the route to Kakariko. If they don't find bombs, they'll buy bombs and do that. Swerb gonna go ahead and gamble on there being bombs in Blind's hut. Let's see if he gets bailed out or if he's gonna have to backtrack in here. Another option is players will save and quit, go to Link's house and take the south route for those bombs that drop underneath bushes around Sacred Grove.
Well, that's not the bomb he was. That was not the bomb he was looking for.
Dude, he almost got vanilla. That was like what, 3 red rupees?
Yeah, I believe bottom here is 4 red rupees blind or vanilla.
Bottom of Blind's hut. Not to be confused with the bottom of the well.
But yeah, Swerve's gonna keep gambling. Hope he finds some bombs.
The madman. Wow.
Yeah. Well,
nothing but money.
Not gonna have money problems in this seat at all.
So the question for Swerb is he going to buy bombs and immediately go back? I mean, having to backtrack into both those is already, it's, you know, a good chunk of time, and players might just go crazy and gamble for it, and he's missing out on a heart piece so far, and we'll find out what's in the other one.
Well, there's bombs from the sick kid.
There you go. Well, 2 things. Well, one thing that's certainly dead in this seed is Houlihan, so...
Yeah, it's way past dead. Looks like Lud's gonna go buy bombs, and so I'm just gonna go backtrack and check these bomb locations.
I mean, the thing is, if he's feeling, if he wants to risk it, he could just put those 2 spots off until he comes back here to go to the Dark World, and just hope for the best. But
so
it looks like he's going back.
So far, the 2 bombable locations just had a piece of heart and a full heart. We'll see if the well pays off.
It's just strange, though. I've never seen a Kakariko with so little value. I mean, lots of money, but other than that, pretty much nothing. So you gotta think Mini Moldorn Cave is gonna be just absolutely stacked.
Oh, there's a cape. Well, normally I would hate to see the cape, but since we know it's Aga required, that's actually a little bit more welcome sight.
Exactly. You know, imagine if either of these players had just straight up skipped checking Lumberjack, which is a very common thing to do for players starting out. They'll just go straight to Lost Woods and skip it, because it's like, I can't get the item anyway until I get the boots or the items to defeat Aga Towers, so I can put it off checking until I need to. But you never know, checking it early and finding that it's required is also helpful. And
yeah,
I can kind of anticipate one sword plus lamp plus that cape that they found being their trip into Aga Tower, but
yeah,
we'll see.
Like I mentioned before, I like to make that check when I need bombs, because it gives me 3 to 4 opportunities to get bombs.
Something we haven't seen that much, or at least I haven't been seeing that much, mostly because I just haven't been doing it, is players really going for farming tree poles, because the 3 different tiers, there's the, tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. A lot of times players will actually spend time farming them just to see if they get like big 20s or 8 bomb drops. You don't see it very much anymore.
Yeah, I'll generally check the tier 2 and the tier 1, but not necessarily the tier 3. Because tier 2 is free coming out of escape, and tier 1 is easy enough to get.
Mm-hmm. And for those that don't know, tree poles have these tiers, which are based on how many enemies you kill and whether or not you take damage. Tier 1 is just kill an enemy and pull the tree. Tier 2 is kill, I believe, 4 enemies and take a hit, take damage, and then tier 3 is kill 4 enemies and not take any damage. And each one has a different prize, so it's just like checking the bush crabs for items.
I think Swerb forgot he had the Mire, but he finds a lamp.
Come on, Swerb. Precious seconds, my friend. He could have been able to do both these in one transition. So, and Mire out, we'll be able to save a few seconds here. But that is our next piece of the puzzle to getting into that Aga Tower and completing it.
Just arrows in the dam. Somebody was doing some target practice, I guess.
Shooting fish in a pond.
Yeah.
Those poor fish. Alright, well, Mini Moldorn Cave. It's got to be stacked. If it's not, I'd be surprised. And,
yeah, gotta at least find one piece of progression.
Right. At this point, I could easily see a glove to get up to Death Mountain, and then Mire would get you up to Tower of Hera. But, there's the Moon Pearl. Some more money. Certainly what we need. And the sword. Perfect. So that's Darkhold Axis. Right there. That's it.
Yep.
Go to the Dark World. Nah, I wouldn't do that. I would still check some more things. I mean, if you could find like a fire rod or some other, even just like a weapon upgrade just to make getting through Aga Tower a little bit quicker. Because Fighter Sword Aga Tower kind of stinks. There's a lot of enemies that have a lot of health in there.
Yeah, plus, even if you wanted to go for Aga right now, all you could do is check the pyramid and go into Pod. Mm-hmm. And if Pod is bow-locked, then you're kind of out of luck.
That was really close. We're about got bopped by that crab.
Yep, those crabs do 2 hearts of damage in green mail.
Whew. LewdDolphin also. These reaction times are so good. Big 20.
So I think Swerb looks like he's going to go set up for fake flippers. And I think LewdDolphin might do the same.
Yeah, it's a good idea, I think, especially when you have the Moon Pearl already, because you can do the water walk out of Waterfall Cave, which is a neat little trick. If you set up the fake flipper and you have the Moon Pearl, essentially you just swim through the whirlpool that's south of the Capacity Ferry, the little island over here, and you swim into the Waterfall Cave where you normally go to like get a shield upgrade and upgrade your boomerang from blue to red in the vanilla game. And for whatever reason, when you exit, the game checks to see if you have the Moon Pearl or something like that, and it's like, oh, you do. All right, well, I guess you're walking now. It just allows you to walk on water. It's a really neat trick. It's even more neat when you have the boots, because then you could run on water.
Yeah, which we are going to see those boots probably early, because we need them to get the bow.
The other scary thing is when you're swimming over to the hobo, you run the risk of getting shot by one of the guards, one of the archer guards that are on that bridge, and despite the fact that in reality of the video game, they're on a completely different level than you, it doesn't matter, they can hit you. And if you get hit, you die instantly.
Yeah, it's actually a safety feature that was implemented into the game. If in the normal game, if you get hit there, you get thrown out of the water to where it tries to tell you where you jumped in, and then if you move, you soft lock yourself.
Yeah, it's really funny looking because you'll just start running in place. Oh my gosh, Swerb just about swam right into that Zora. That was close. And here we'll see the water walk trick. Magic powder and the ice rod. All right.
Okay.
So, assuming Turtle Rock is a crystal, flippers are required for it. And it'd be easy to assume there's only one pendant in the Dark World, so...
Yeah, actually we know flippers are required because, well, at least one of the palaces for them needs it. Meanwhile, you do see the cane on the ledge.
Yeah, either Swamp or Ice Palace will be required, and by the logic, flippers are 100% required in that case. And now with Ice Rod in Waterfall Cave, it's even super required. Yeah, just a big 20 for your trouble. So our players are going to have to come back here for that Cane of Samaria once they get the flippers. It's a lot of good info, though. Ice Rod, getting Ice Rod early is also a huge stress relief, because Ice Rod can be one of those really obnoxious items that like to, well, because they're only ever required for one thing and one thing only, to kill Trinex. They can be in so many locations in the game.
So I think Lude's going to go make the Eastern play. I think Swerb is going to go ahead and just take Aga out right now.
The Man.
Which isn't a bad play, because if he finds something on that pyramid, that could give him a nice advantage. And he's got to do this anyway.
Yeah, it's just a matter of if Lude finds a better weapon or boots, he'll be able to save time.
Yeah, well, we got a little piece of information. The green pendant is swamp as we find a book in Saharsa's closet.
Oh, goody. Alright, so we already know flippers are required even without swamp being a crystal. I can easily see this being a pedestal seed. Anytime I see two pendants in the Light World, I'm immediately on board with the pedestal play. And with that book and mirror in hand, if we end up finding a fire rod, both players will be able to check, when we find a fire rod, it's kind of important. Both players will be able to check that pedestal whenever they're around there because of the mirror and book. And here is an example of why Agatower stinks with Fighter Sword. The amount of slashes or spins you have to do to kill these guards is...
I think Swerb was expecting to be able to use the Ice Rod to take them out. Because he used an Ice Rod shot and it just bounced off their armor.
Yeah, their Ice Rod is kind of weird because affects different enemies in different ways, sometimes not at all. Like, the green guards and the blue archers, it will freeze them. The blue guards, it'll kill instantly. I don't think it affects the red guards at all. And I'm not actually sure about the blue guards that dash at you, the charging ones, if it affects them either. Oh, Swerb. This is unfortunate. I mean, even like just a boomerang would be helpful at this point.
Yeah, unfortunately,
I'd never imagined a boomerang being actually useful.
Unfortunately, you don't. I mean, okay, I don't know what I was going to say there. I tell you, unfortunately, you won't find anything in Naga Tower because there's no items and chests beyond the 2 keys.
Yeah, this ain't key sanity. Get out of here with that. That was earlier this year. We're done with that book.
I've already mentally repressed that.
Ooh, Swerve's got to be careful. Down to 1 heart. He does have that red potion, and it would save him a lot of trouble, because dying at all in Aga Tower is a big time loss. I fear for him in this next room, because this room can get out of hand real quick.
Well, Lewd found Ether in Eastern. Don't know if that's needed yet.
See, now that could be a useful item for clearing some of these rooms.
Now, I'm sure Swerb knows his pots. There's a couple pots with hearts in here.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, sometimes those red guards can just get right on top of you, and it's so hard to get away from them, because they're so quick, too.
He's making good progress, and I think the next enemy... Oh, never mind. He's got to be very careful now.
All right, nice. Nice use of that. Okay. I think he should use that red potion. All it takes is 1 blue ball, and your day is ruined.
And unfortunately, Lewd does not find anything in Eastern beyond that Ether. So, Fighter's Sword might be required to get through there here.
Yeah, it looks like it. Unless he's gonna take this to... I mean, he could go, like, check Desert, Desert Ledge, Agahnim. I highly advise against this play, Swerb. Please drink that red potion. God, stop! Too scary. I mean, as long as he's at a good distance, there's a places you can stand that you will never get hit by the blue balls, even when they break apart, and it looks like he's utilizing that knowledge. But
yeah, it's
terrifying, man.
Every time you see one of those blue balls split up, it is a little scary. Not to mention, looking at LewdDolphin's side, he hasn't even found much for health, so you had to go through this potentially with low hearts and a fighter sword.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal, not gonna lie. And Swerb gets through it, only getting like 2 blue balls in that fight, which of course will be similar for LewdDolphin. He will only find 2 blue balls in that fight, since the boss fights are fixed for both for the seed in general. At least for their first time going to that boss. And just a big 20 on the pyramid.
I think Swerve's just going to go straight into pod.
Which at this point we know is the play.
Well, actually, we have not seen Desert from Lewd's side yet. Oh, there is the hammer!
Okay. I stand corrected. Now, if Lewd also finds the boots in here, he'd be pretty set. We have yet to see a map check from Swerb, but at this point it doesn't really matter other than finding out what 5 and 6 are. We already know Pod will be a crystal, but we don't know if it's Pyramid Fairy crystals or not.
So we're going to find out pretty quick if Desert is boots locked.
The nice thing about that hammer is it's going to help him out here. It's going to make getting through Aga Tower a little bit quicker, since the hammer does tempered sword damage compared to the fighter's sword, so...
And Desert is definitely boots locked. This actually was not a bad routing place from Swerb, though. He can get through these and do a pod check right away. So I'm really kind of digging this route now.
Yeah, and the hammer, missing out on the hammer though. Now I'm already on the thinking that boots or something is going to be, maybe a glove is going to be over in Hype Cave or Stumpy or Digging Game, Circle of Bushes, and LewdDolphin will also be able to check the Bombo's tablet. He won't be able to get the item on it because he doesn't have a sword upgrade, but he'll be able to check it.
Yeah, and actually thinking about it, yeah, if yeah, because now Swerve's actually gonna have to double dip this guaranteed too, though. So that is a good thing to think about. There's our map check, and Mire and Thieves Town are our red crystals.
All right. Well, we already know where Kane is. We need both gloves. We need the we need some stuff.
Lewd is going to make his play through Aga Tower now. With the hammer, it will be a little easier, though he still has to do this with 5 hearts.
Yeah, so Lewd has actually, as far as I know, he's checked everything. There's nothing left other than going to Aga to get to the Dark World.
Yeah, so Aga double required.
For sure. Because, as we know, they did go... Yeah, they went to Zora's Domain. Zora only dropping a big 20. And... I don't know, it's a tough call. I think... either play would have been fine, either going there early or going there now. Hammer's going to help, but you also have to remember Hammer is kind of a weird hitbox, and Lewd has got to be careful here. He's going to already use that red potion.
Now, the advantage Swerb does have is by not using his red potion, he does have the option to check the right side if he chooses to use the new potion glitch.
Ooh. That's a good point. I mean, it'd be a sequence break, but he already knows where the bow is. But that kind of like little bit of information is would be pretty helpful. He did already get the big key, so he'll be allowed to go back here and check all this stuff. I'm curious to see how he's going to route this.
I guess that mini helmets are alright. That one can be a little bit of a pain.
Nothing yet going on in Palace of Darkness. Still got a few chests to check along the way. This is not a very friendly seed.
Not at all.
At this point, if we want to get over to West Dark World, now that we know where the hammer is, it's either we need to find a glove in here or we need to find the hookshot. Because hammer plus hookshot would get you across the broken bridge.
Swerb trades keys there.
It's like now we'll either... Okay, he's going for the hammer jump.
Oh, interesting. You don't see the hammer jump much in this version of Randomizer.
More money. Great. Yeah, just looking at LewdDolphin, that hammer gave him such an advantage going through Aga Tower. I feel like if you went back and looked at the times it took for each player to get through it, I believe Lewd probably saved a good chunk of time.
Yeah, he probably did. I think the only way that this could really super pay off for Swerb is if he finds the boots by chance. And, okay, there's one more chest he can check in here.
Yeah, he could check the vanilla big key chest.
Or just elect to leave.
But he's heading out.
Not a bad
check Eastern.
I guess it's not a bad play, just in case you can come back and go moat this later. Yeah, so far it looks like Lewd's gambles are paying off a little bit more, but we still have plenty of race to go.
Mm-hmm. And he'll more than likely head straight to Hype Cave after this, as opposed to going to Pod. At least that's what I would do. Because nobody wants to double dip dungeons if they don't have to. It's like the last resort, right?
Yeah, especially if you know where, since you know where Bo is. I mean, the only thing that could really make that bad is if the boots had been in Pod, but as far as we know, they weren't, unless they're on the right side. That and the right side are in that vanilla cat chest.
Well, they couldn't be on the right side.
Oh, you're right.
Based on the logic.
So yeah, as long as they're not in that vanilla chest.
Yeah, I'm curious why Swerb didn't check that vanilla big key chest. Or did he? No.
I don't think he did.
He might have. I don't know.
I mean, I've noticed in the logic of version 29 that chest more often than not is just another small key, but occasionally it does have an item.
Yeah, a lot of times you'll see Palace of Darkness is very front-loaded with small keys, just based on how the dungeon layout is. There used to be a good, funny joke of how it once was called Mullet Mansion, because it was business in the front, party in the back. I never called it that, because I'm not that funny. But anyway, let's see what Hype Cave is. Lewd actually using his last bomb to bomb open that wall and being gifted 3 more. And there is our first glove. Can I get another one? Just bumps.
Nope. Okay, that glove gives full Dark World access at least.
Yep. That's pretty brutal, though. Desert Ledge Hammer to get to glove. So obviously Aga was not doable, or Dark World was not accessible without that Aga play.
Yep. Well, I gotta believe Swerb after this is gonna go to Desert right away because I think he's got nothing left really.
Mm-hmm. And advantage right now is definitely going to LewdDolphin just for full clearing Light World before making the Aga play. But you never know if Lewd decides to go back and go to pod at some point. Though I can't imagine him going there until he gets that bow.
Yep, and Swerb is heading right for Desert.
Yeah, I like this idea. Lewd going for the heart piece. Health still relatively low, 32 minutes in.
Yeah, 6 hearts.
And still on Fighter Sword, still on Green Mail.
Yeah, this seed has not been too kind so far. Yeah. So, looking at what we've got, so I think Hera, you can complete Hera at this point. At least LewdDolphin can. So that's a pendant. You can complete Thieves Town.
Oh, and there are the flippers in digging games, so that puts the powder and ice rod back into logic. And now LewdDolphin will be able to go get that Key to Samaria from Zora's Ledge at any point in time. He might want to route in a catfish check as well, if he can, because he could go Dark World, clear Thieves Town, clear Village of Outcasts, and then route up to the north to do Graveyard Ledge, or Bumper Cave, Graveyard Ledge, and then hop in the water, do Catfish Zora.
So Swerb sees the hammer. He'll be picking that up shortly.
It's also worth noting that LewdDolphin could, if he wants to, go up and get to East Death Mountain as well. And good chunk of chests up there. Good chance of finding something useful.
Yeah, we could start to see some good route divergence here. Let's see what Swerb likes to do after he picks up that hammer. That just gives a little bit of love.
Which did complete another heart container, so now he's up to 7.
Very
But
fair.
feeling a little bit more cozy. I'm anticipating Paradox Cave up in Death Mountain having like 3 heart containers or something. So yeah, what do? Do you go for Village of Outcasts? Just go ahead and get that crystal out of the way. It is a Pyramid Fairy crystal. You have the hammer. You can do all of it. Do you go up to Death Mountain? You check Skull Woods as well, and it looks like Lewd's going to go straight and check the pedestal at this point.
Well, he might just be going to Dark World this way because he doesn't have glove yet. I don't know. I think I'd
Wait,
make that.
what? Sorry, Lewd has the glove.
He doesn't have the Titan's Miss though.
Right, but he has hammer. Right,
Yeah.
but he got it. He pulled out his book, so that's why I was like, he's going to pedestal.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, I see what you're saying now.
JP, no, I'm kidding. That's funny. All right, Swerb, hammer in hand. He's gonna head down to Hype Cave now. He'll be getting his glove, his fire shield, and make his way over to south of Kakariko. Increased bomb storage. How exciting!
Yeah. Sorry, no pedestal today.
It's okay. We got Aga Tower. We got Bow and Lumberjack. That's exciting enough, right, guys? Please don't close the stream just because it's not a pedestal seed. Please don't go. Just stick around. It's gonna be a good race, I promise.
Yeah, I think I've seen enough of the pedestal for today.
I'm sure you have.
Alright, yeah, so Lewd's not going to go Skullwoods. Looks like he's going to go do Village of Outcasts check and then probably go right into Thieves Town.
Yeah, I don't know what would have been... I mean, I guess he's wanting to put off Skullwoods. You could have gone to the Dark World and checked Skullwoods into checking the pedestal, or at least put off checking the pedestal until you had the Fire Rod. Options.
I mean, it is pretty early for pedestal. But actually, I mean, just for worth talking about, I mean, we were only boots and hookshot from pedestal being on Logic.
That's true.
But
maybe they should go ahead and get it anyway. For the fans, of course. I mean, I'd do it. No, I wouldn't.
Well, we'll see. Swerb hasn't checked it, so maybe if things just don't go his way, he might. But let's not hope for that. Let's hope for some really nice racing here.
I specifically said before the race started, no dumbs. If I see, wow, there is the Titan Mitts in Bomb Abo Hut, Village of Outcasts, and that just opens up so much to the seat already. And good call doing that now, because now they'll be able to check the Dark World spots up on East Death Mountain as well. Just gotta hope to find that hook shot to get that full clear.
Yeah, that really blows this seat open. There's a lot of different things you can do. But to be fair, I mean, in terms of dungeons, all we've got right now is Pendant Hera, the front of Swamp, front of Skull Woods, Thieves Town. So don't have a ton you can do in dungeons yet.
That's true. Gonna be looking for a few more items. Speaking of items, we know where the Canis Amari is. It is in Zora's domain. We're still looking for the fire. We know where the bow is. It's on Lumberjack. We still need hookshot. We might need a medallion or two for the last two dungeons. And we're still looking for flute, boots, and a sword or two. So
Long way to go.
I don't anticipate that spicy sub-hour go mode in this one. This seed's a little bit on the longer side.
Not unless Death Mountain is completely loaded. Yeah, let's see where LewdDolphin comes up with here in Thieves Town. See if he finds anything interesting.
Yeah, nothing so far. I think we saw a big 20, which is pretty exciting, I guess. But other than that, nothing really.
We're getting close to 40 minutes in, and neither runner has completed a dungeon yet. If you're in that position, are you feeling nervous that you haven't finished a dungeon by this point?
I mean, I think Swerb might be feeling a little bit more nervous just because of that hammer location and him diving pod. But they got to understand. I'm sure they know that both they and their opponent are probably in the same situation right now. And sometimes that's just how the seeds play out. They could go get some pendants if they want. Well, one.
Yeah. Swerb is heading for the pedestal too. He's gonna get that check out of the way.
I like this. That early information will save you a lot of trouble later. The only problem is sometimes if you know that the pedestal's dead, and let's say you get a pendant dungeon where the boss is holding the last item in there, you're a little less inclined to go kill the boss for the item drop if you don't want the pendant.
I guess I could see how knowing that pedestal could also change your routing, because if you know that's if it's a pedestal seed right now, you might be a little more inclined to go to Death Mountain and go out Hera.
Yeah. Fortunately, because two of the pendants are in the light world, the players could... Wow, that's a very fancy fairy drop. I wonder if that's one of those 50-50 heart drop or fairy drops, like you see up on Death Mountain or in Dark World Sacred Grove. But the nice thing is, because of those pendants being in the light world, you can get the item and then mirror out before grabbing the pendant to save a little bit of time. I kind of wished it worked the same way in the Dark World, where you can get the item and then mirror out, but that only works in the light world dungeons.
Swerb is getting all of the fairies here. I think he's just unveiled 3 fairies in less than a minute.
Stack them up. You know, if only he had a bug net to capture said fairies. But he still has that red potion.
Very true. Actually, is this sprite technically a fairy?
We don't talk about that. What we do talk about is LewdDolphin finally finding that beautiful blue boomerang in Thieves Town Big Chest. So, other than the crystal, Blind's going to be holding an item, but other than that, we haven't really seen anything in here. But it's rare you get to go mode Thieves Town. Like, that's just not a thing, really.
Yeah, even go mode Thieves Town is basically the same as regular Thieves Town.
Yeah, especially if, like, Big Chest or Big Key is vanilla, you still check all 4.
Yeah, you might get to skip a chest or 2, that's about it. But lose on his blind fights. He has burnout, I think, just in case.
Come on, go damageless. Oh, well, I mean, that's cheating, but, you know. I was saying go damageless, and then he pulls out uses the bird. I'm like, well, never mind then. Really good fight, though. Yeah, that is Thieves Town. We got a Pyramid Fairy Crystal, and that's it. Bit of a bust.
Yeah. It's crystal gotta get out of the way, but yeah, we're kind of still looking for something. I mean, we've got a good number of items to help blow the seed open, but we're just still looking for that next piece.
Is this going to be one of those seeds where there's just no swords at all? Is this going to be another one of those finish G Tower and then go looking for a sword kind of seeds? We still have a lot left to find.
Yeah, I think it's a little early to call that.
Is this going to be one of those swordless seeds? Is that what we're talking about right now? We still don't even have the silvers either, so yeah, you got to be thinking about that later on.
Lewd is gonna do the blacksmith stuff, and he's gonna do the long peg game. Swerb is getting through Thieves Town.
Yeah, this room right here is a little bit obnoxious when you don't have the boots. But he gets through it only taking 1 heart of damage, so not too bad.
Hookshot also can help in that room quite a bit.
I like going for the blacksmith plate at this point just because you have the mirror. You can knock it out real quickly. Be curious to see if he's going to go for the purple chest or not. If he does, it'd probably be faster to just go ahead and save and quit and then walk it down, as opposed to, well, he hasn't checked Bombos yet. I don't know.
Looks like he's gonna walk it down there. I think... no, actually, has Swerb made the southern... Yeah, he did, because he went for the flippers.
They both made the same southern play, so they've already checked all those. So instead, he's going to walk it up there. Probably going to check Bumper Cave and Graveyard Ledge. So we're taking the purple chest on a little cross-country tour. A little tour of the Dark World.
Alright, what does that Bumper Ledge have? Just a piece of heart, and Lewd's gonna do some dancing around these murder dactyls, whatever you want to call them.
Just a piece of heart and a lot of lag. That was quite a bit of lag in that room, in that screen.
Yeah. A lot of dancing, a lot of lagging.
He does have the mitts, so he doesn't have to walk through the graveyard. He can just route up through the top here. Now, I would love it if he took it all the way to Catfish, and then... Because you could swim with the purple chest. Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Alright, good call from LewdDolphin, going back in to reset his portal, because that would have not worked out for him, because you have to drop off the chest if you want to go in here. And then upon his exit, he would have gone right into the Dark World. You can, however, bypass the portal by picking up an item, like a Samaria block or a bomb. And there are the silver arrows on Graveyard Ledge. I can't imagine either of these players missing that.
Very nice. So we know where that bow is, so we're going to have some nice strong shots once they get that.
JP, you know what would be the most convenient routing option at this point? Or boot placement? If you put them like right at the beginning of Skull Woods, then you could have just mirrored, got your bow, checked Bonk Rocks, checked Graveyard Ledge.
Oh, Swerb.
Imagine not using Cane of Burna. Imagine, no, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate because you kind of do have the safeties. You have the cane, you have a red potion in Swerve's case.
The thing is, he missed the blue mail was in C-shaped hut, so he doesn't have. I don't think either player had it going into this dungeon since just how the routing worked out. But we'll probably see him utilize that Burna at this point.
Catfish just had a piece of heart. Oh, and Luz, I think, can go pick up his cane right now.
Dude, this is an extended tour with the purple chest. Swerb, what are you doing? Use the... Thank you! Or the cape, that works too.
This guy likes to live dangerously.
I know, right? I mean, if he's trying to impress me, he's not doing very well. Shoutouts to my boy Swerb, he's a good guy. Actually, shoutouts to both these runners. This has been a really weird, interesting scene, and they've been doing very well dealing with it. It's something I've seen a lot from players is not taking advantage of the safeties that they have. Like, you want to save time by not menuing, but you also want to save time by not dying.
Yeah. Wonder if he's going to be frustrated when he picks up this blue mail.
And we already saw Swerb taking some risky plays going into the Aga fight with only half a heart. So he especially needs to start utilizing his safeties, and he is going to grab that frog and probably continue the same route. This purple chest better have something. Maybe it's something like, you know, I don't know, what would be a good example? Like a Tamagotchi, you know, hatching an egg by walking around with it or something. Pokemon Go, I guess. Is that still a thing?
Yeah, I think so.
Our red rupee, dude. When he picked up that purple chest, it was a green rupee, and by the time he got there, it had sprung into a lively red rupee. So these things do matter.
Yeah, I guess they do. So yeah, Swerb is basically following behind Lud's steps. I think Lewd looks like he's going to go make the Death Mountain play now.
That seems like a good idea. Yeah, to be honest, though, walking the purple chest that long doesn't really matter if you're without boots and without hookshot. Well, mostly without boots. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. He stopped because he thought the blue guard was going to continue gumming after him, and then the blue guard just, like, stopped for 1 second. And then restarted again. He got baited so hard.
Yep. Well, Swerve's going to make the same purple chest. Is he going to take the north route as well?
Can't imagine why he wouldn't. I'm going to be so... Well, that's the thing is, like, just based on how this is working out, like, these players aren't really going to get a chance to check Skull Woods since you can't take a follower into Skull Woods for the most part. You can't. Well, you can. You could drop down one of the holes and like the frog will follow you, but you can't go into any entrances, any real entrances.
So I mean,
see a dead frog, you went inside.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, these two runners have followed the exact same path. The only difference is Lewd going to Desert first, which got him the hammer, made Agate Tower easier, and Swerb did a pod play that didn't really yield anything.
Ah, there's that beautiful bug net, everyone's favorite useless item. I'm just kidding. It's pretty useful if I'd advise Swerb to pick it up. He might need it.
Alright, will Lewd make the Hera play, or is he going to skip Hera for now? Or is he going to do Spike Cave?
He's got the health, and he's going to go. See ya. And so we're going to be picking up his silver arrows.
Lewd does pick up that bug net. He's got to be a champion for the people.
For the fans. Either tablet or bust, only have from Couch Cash. We still haven't actually seen Bombo's tablet yet from either player. So that might come into play later. Of course, we still can't actually get the item off of them because of the lack of sword upgrades. So I think these players are due for a Master Sword at this point.
Now, they might be sent down to the Hera basement first.
I like this play of checking Tower of Hera. You never know if you're going to find an item like right in that first little downstairs spot.
Yeah,
it's tough to make that call when you have all of Paradox, all of East Death Mountain to check. Like worst case scenario is you skip Tower of Hera and it has the hook shot, or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's a quick check too. This dungeon, in terms of length, is pretty short. Of course, that's assuming we do not have to do. We don't have to do the basement.
Well, there's item number 1. We're gonna set up for. Oh wow! Hey, that was pretty cool.
That was a very, very interesting setup. I've not seen that before.
I was like, what is he doing? What is he? That is some spicy tech that you don't see very often.
Yeah, I like the setup because it puts you in the exact right spot to bomb down there. Well, I was going to say, that's a risky bomb jump because if you miss it, you fall 2 floors.
Yeah. I'm stealing that. Don't tell nobody.
Tell them what?
Attaboy. Alright. LewdDolphin with hammer strats on Moldorm. Getting pretty good patterns so far. There you go. It's a very nice Moldorm fight. Swerb gonna finish out, turn out purple chest, and let's see where he runs off to next. Nothing.
I think he's gonna loop in the Bombos check.
I like this.
This is something.
Efficient.
Yeah, this is something that Lewd did not do.
So Lewd losing a little bit of time going through all of Tower of Hera. He already saw what was on the pedestal, so I'm curious why he didn't just choose to mirror out, unless he doesn't know that you can mirror out independent in the Light World dungeons.
He's still got 8 more items on Light World Dark Mountain, plus 3 he can access. No, only 2 he can access in Dark World Death Mountain right now. Well, 3 if you count Spike Cave. Nope, neither tablet needed.
So Book's only use was to get that hammer in Desert.
Well, I wasn't paying attention on Lewd's side. What did he get? What did he see on Turtle Rock?
We'll see on the restream. Oh man, just kidding. I already knew it was Quake. It was Quake. It was the Quake medallion. The medallion that they don't have.
One of the 2 they don't have, so that's one more item we need towards go mode. Swerb is... Yeah, he's still following. He's gonna go up to Death Mountain now, too.
Vanilla stun enemy prize pack. How disappointing.
Yeah, that's boring.
I bet if you put that in a purple chest and walked it around a bit, turn it into something good. But yeah, it looks like Swerb is going to be following in his footsteps. We'll see if he decides to hop into Tower of Hera as well.
So, could I put 20 of those green rupees in a chest and get them to all mature the same way?
Yes. Why don't you try it? It's just like taking your Pokemon to like the daycare, and you get like you come back and your stupid dumb Pokemon's like super buff for some reason. It's the same thing.
No, I think though that chest duplicated itself. There's 2 10 arrow drops there.
2 wow. All those arrows and no bow to use. Tis tis. There's the hook shot. Wow. Well, that's extremely convenient.
Yeah, that puts Swamp completely in logic, though it is a pendant, but it is the green pendant.
Man, that's a tough call to make. So even after this, unless like Hookshot Cave has something of value, we still don't really have anything that we could go do, right?
Yeah, we got all Swamp now. We do have the front of Skullwoods that neither of them has checked. That's about it though, in terms of dungeons.
That is awful. Well, here's the thing, like, we've seen all of Eastern, most of Pod, so even if they do find the boots, like, it's not going to really unlock too much extra stuff.
But Swerve's doing a new check. We have not seen Spike Cave yet. This is going to be close. I don't know if he's got enough magic.
If he wants, he could... Oh, man, this is going to be real close. Oh,
he just had it.
And just a heart. That was clutch. Down to the last frame.
Swerve, stop with these death-defying antics.
Yeah, and unfortunately, with that, he, because of saving and quitting in the Dark World and completing Aga Tower with the Mire, it puts you right back on the pyramid, so gotta do a few extra save and quits to get back up here.
Yeah, well, Lewd did not really find anything in Hookshot Cave. And I'm guessing he's going to go check Spike Cave right now. Oh no, he's got to... Actually, no, we have not seen Spiral Cave yet.
And the unfortunate thing for Swerb is by doing Spike Cave, now he has to walk all the way back up the Death Mountain. If he had Hookshot, it would have been super convenient for him. I'm anticipating Lewd saving Spike Cave for the end of his trip around Death Mountain.
Yeah, it's certainly an efficient way to do it. Just half magic. It's nice, but not progression.
I'll take it.
Swerve decides he doesn't really want to make the people happy. Yeah, I think Lewd's coming back around. He'll check Spike Cave. And then I think we've seen everything basically we can on Death Mountain. I mean, at this point, to these runners, it's basically... Which dungeon do you want to dive? Do you want to check the front of Skull Woods? Or do you want to go into Pendant Swamp?
Wow, did Death Mountain really not have anything? Jeez. It's a pretty rare sight to see.
Well, I mean, we got the hookshot up here, but that's...
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta basically choose. Do you want to partially complete a crystal or fully complete a pendant?
Yeah, it's a tough call to make.
Yeah, it would be funny if your prediction came true and there are boots in the front of Skullwoods.
I mean, it would just be perfect for routing. It would have been the most perfect routing, like, potentially.
Alright, where does Lewd go? It looks like he's gonna make the swamp play. So as Lewd heads towards swamp, Swerb is going to go on to his Moldorm fight. Swerve's not going to get much up here. This is a really interesting play by Lewd. I mean, there's not much else. Okay, Swerve says no to the pendant. It just drops down.
There you go. You know, this is a pretty this is a rough seed, not gonna lie. Just with how everything was laid out, with the hammer all the way over in desert, which is the only way you could really progress past doing the required Aga Tower. The fact that we saw that bow there and still haven't been able to get it, and now having to dive Pendant Swamp Palace just to hope to find progression in here.
And it's still not even guaranteed. I mean, it would be really odd, but Pendant Swamp could have nothing.
It's very true. Or it could have entirely nothing except Green Pendant leads to the boots. Vanilla boots! Could you imagine?
I don't like imagining all the possibilities that this game can sometimes provide. Or we find a shovel that just continues our suspense. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and Swamp Palace is already a really slow dungeon, and then having to do it without boots just makes it even slower.
At least you have hookshot. So, if you're looting this place, are you coming in fully planning to full clear it, or are you dipping out, avoiding the left side?
I would still kind of put some value into that hookshot and might go straight for the Argus play first. It really depends on how the items lay out. If I find nothing but items all the way back to Argus, then of course, because you never know. You could get the compass dungeon map left side combo. Or, like, left side has the map and the big key, and then the compass is in the big chest, which is, of course, most ideal.
Lewd's gonna full clear it.
Alright.
Did he go south and get that chest? I don't think I saw him get that.
He didn't. He went straight up here. He's... Okay. I was about to get...
I think he was trying...
He's struggling.
I think he was trying to be clever and was too clever.
I think he was just messing with us. I think he was just pranking.
Well, Swerve's gonna go over to the Dark World Death Mountain. Gonna get his last items over here, and then we'll see what he elects to do. So far, these runners, since hitting Dark Worlds, have pretty much followed in each other's footsteps. The Lewd has quite a bit more health than Swerb does. Which is surprising, because I don't feel like Lewd is checked as much. Oh no, wait, I think this cave down here was loaded. That might be why. Yeah, that cave was loaded. Let's see, does this pay off for Lewd? Big key. And a small piece of heart. So far, yeah. So far, nothing we've seen in Swamp. Well, Swerb finishes up his Death Mountain checks. Where is he gonna go? Is he gonna make the same pendant dive? Yep, looks like he's also gonna go to Pendant Swamp. So I can't blame him. I mean, the item density in Pendant Swamp is pretty high, despite the length of the dungeon. And Loot's coming back through the south here now. See what's in this chest he passed up originally. There's a Master Sword.
Oh, finally. Hour and 5 minutes in. Sword upgrade.
So, Swerb can make him a little bit of time if he decides to skip the left side, but we'll see if he does. Yeah, Loot's heading into the back as Swerve's about to just start Swamp Palace. That sword upgrade's got to be a little bit of a welcome sight because now you don't have to do Fighter Sword, Argus. So, Fighter Sword and Master Sword aren't too different, especially if you're using sword spins.
Yeah, it's... With Fighter Sword, you might as well just go ahead and do hammer strats only. And just menu to the hammer every time. Compared to Master Sword, which comes down to if you could do like the... I always like doing the double hook spin. So hook 2 of the puffs, then spin. But being able to just do 2 slashes is pretty cozy.
But, yeah. So far, though, in this dungeon, we've not seen anything. We got the Master Sword, which we do need to finish the seed. But, I mean, the only other item that could really be intriguing we've gotten from here is Shovel. We still have an item on Argus, though. There's still an item at Saharsla.
And that shovel spot, can't forget that. I'm still anticipating boots are just sitting in Skullwoods. Or, you know, it could be vanilla Fire Rod. You never know.
I mean, the more time that passes, the more I'm thinking that maybe they had that progression there the whole time.
And we can basically blame the purple chest for our players not checking Skullwoods.
Yeah, I mean, it's been amazing how close their routes have held together.
So wait, what was in the big chest of Swamp Palace?
I think it was the map.
Okay. Yeah, only bombs from Argus, so gaining nothing from this but a shovel and a sword. But that sword is pretty important. LewdDolphin now going to go over and check Bombo's tablet, and unfortunately he's going to have to... Unfortunately he's going to get a maximum heart upgrade. How unfortunate, man.
Let's see if Swerb goes toward the back, or if he's going to... Yeah, he's going to go straight to the back for now. So he's going to come out here knowing there's only one item on the left side. It'll be interesting if he goes, see if he goes back in or not. So, yeah, Lewd grabs his heart container. Swerb grabs his chest, nothing down there. And where's Lewd going now? It's just taking a long walk to get to Skullwoods. Oh, he's going for the dig spot. Alright, what's at this dig spot? Just a red rupee. So unless that green pendant yields something, This check of the Swamp Palace check wasn't needed. I mean, the sword potentially could be, but that's about it. And I think Lewd is going to go turn in that green pendant right now. I wouldn't be surprised, actually, if Lewd decides to go ahead and check Pod. Either way. Oh, Swerb, you gotta be careful. Please use a potion. Oh no.
Oh, wow.
I gotta ask Swerb about this after the race, because he's... I mean, I get, you know, trying to save time, but... And that's a long walk to get back there. Meanwhile, Sarsla has the flute! Okay, there's your value from Swamp Palace. And Swerve's not gonna go check the left side. Well, LewdDolphin is going to go into Pod. This is already checks that Swerve's done, so it'll give him a little bit of time to catch up. So flute, well, for the most part, the flute only opens up the Mire area right now, which gives us access to 3 more chests, but. It also potentially gives us access to Mire if Ether is the medallion for Mire. So, but we also still have that Skull Wood sitting there. Yeah, I don't know what's gonna... Let's see, Swerve's not going to be too happy with what he finds on the left side. It's also over there is a piece of heart. Lewd, we're seeing go through the Pod. Checks we've already seen. So it'll be interesting to see if Lewd elects to sequence break the right side. Yeah, Lewd's heading to the back. His Swerb is gonna get his big key, his piece of heart. Oh, actually, chat points out Lewd can't do the sequence break to the right side because he already used his potion, so that's not an option for him. For anybody who's curious, the potion sequence break's a new one that was just recently found and added to the list of available as a sequence breaks as a minor glitch. Basically, what you do is as you're walking down the hallway that leads to the room with 3 mimics, what you do is as you're walking to the left, you drink the potion and then hug the wall. And if you do it right, you can, as soon as you get to that mimic room, you can walk to the right, you can take the mimics out of the frame, and the room will count it as killing the mimics, which will allow you to advance. Now, you still need the bow to complete Palace Darkness, but it will get you access to those 2 items ahead of schedule. Lewd is he's getting close to done with his checks in... Actually, I think he's done with Pod. No, he's going back to check this chest that Swerb skipped. We have this center chest. So this is going to be a very interesting check. Well, Swerve's on his take 2 of his Argus fight. He's still gotta be a bit careful. 3.5 hearts. Alright, this just interesting. What did Swerve skip? It was just a small key. Okay, so that was the most likely option, but it's now good to know that, so that skip didn't cost him any time. And Swerve gets a nice 1 cycle on Argus, and he's a little frustrated. But he's got Swamp Palace down. Lewd is, meanwhile, back up at Sanctuary. He's going to go activate that flute. It is going to be interesting to see where Lewd goes. I got to imagine he's going to go to Mire next. But Skullwoods is right there. Yeah, Swerb is also going to go take that pendant back right away. Yeah, this is kind of an amazing seed in that we're over an hour 15 in, and both runners have just 1 crystal. And it's not like they can even complete any other dungeons. We've been looking for the boots this whole seed. You can't complete Skullwoods without Fire Rod, can't get into Ice Palace without Fire Rod or Bombos. We might have access to Mire now. We'll find out from Lewd's screen right now. And he does not have Mire access. He needs Bombos. So, no Mire access. Oh, there's Bombos. So, okay, he can go into Mire. Okay, let's come back in to grab this other chest. But that's Mire access, so that's something. That's something that's been interesting about version 29, is more often than not, the medallion for a dungeon has tended to be right next to the dungeon. Like, I've seen too many seeds where the Mire medallion will either be in Checkerboard Cave or in the shed, and I've seen too many seeds where the medallion for Turtle Rock is either in Super Bunny Cave or Hookshot Cave, and there's our Fire Rod. Now the seed is starting to open up. So now they have access to full clear Mire, they have access to full clear Skullwoods. So that has to feel a little bit better. And actually that's also access to full clear Ice, too. So we still need Boots, we need the Bow, and we need Quake. Yeah, Lewd is going into Mire, Swerb is going to be right behind him. This is still a very close race. It could go either way. So Swerve's going to find his Bombos here. He probably will head straight over to Checkboard Cave, get his Fire Rod too. Meanwhile, LewdDolphin has started his checks in Misery Mire. He has to map to start. I believe because that was a map, since I believe one of these first 2 chests has to be a key, the next chest will be a small key. As Swerve picks up his Fire Rod, he'll likely be right in the Misery Mire at this point. Lewd's next chest is a small key. Lewd is going to head over to the left side, get his checks over there. Swerb is opening Mire. Lewd grabs that small key, he's going to come back and check this one. Just another small key. Swerb is in Misery Mire. These runners are maybe a minute or two apart. If that. Nothing else for Lewd there. He's going to continue to check. Lewd grabbing his full magic. Gonna head up and do the torch room up here. And Lewd will sit through this little cutscene as Swerb starts his checks. Alright, what does Lewd find down here? There's the big key. I don't think we've seen either item from Mire yet. Still 2 items to find. Swerb is a bit low on health, but that seems to be a common theme for him through this whole race. Oh, good, he's gonna powder. There's a ton of anti-fairies to powder here. Alright, a couple chests to check over here. First we see a compass. So that means Vitreous and the big chest have our 2 items. So what's in this big chest? Just a heart container. Well, it leaves with Vitreous, and, well, gonna be a bit of a fun Vitreous fight. I mean, they're not set up terribly for it, but no bow makes things a little bit tougher. Yeah, this seat is really close right now. Like, they said, just a couple minute divergence. And we still have a long way to go, because we still need 6 crystals. So Swerb is sitting through his little cutscene here as Lewd goes to the basement. Lewd hits the switch. Swerv's gonna drop and grab his big key. Alright, Lewd is almost to Vitreous, getting close. Swerv's gotta come back around. He'll check a couple chests up here. It's going to be very interesting once this seed is done to see what their collection rates are, because they've got to have checked a lot of stuff. Lewd is on his Vitreous fight. He's going to use some cape strats, which is a good idea, because as long as he's slashing that sword and damaging those eyeballs, the cape will drain very slowly to not at all. So eyeballs are down. Now a bunch of Master Sword slashes and spins. Swerb is on his way to Vitreous as well. Oh, Lewd switches to the hammer. Now he's going to use hammer smacks and sword slashes to take it down. Oh, Lewd! He takes a death by, I believe he is a fairy. Yeah, he's got a fairy, so he's okay. Yeah, he's got to still be careful. 4 hearts left, but Vitreous goes down. And just a 20. So Mire was empty too. And I think now we're finally going to see Skull Woods. Because I don't think they're going to go to Ice first. I think they're going to go to Skull Woods. Let's see what Lewd does. I guess he might go to Ice, but let's see. No, he just cleared Mire, so he does. That's right. Mire was the second of the Pyramid Crystals, so you can check Pyramid Fairy now. So Mire still might come up. Meanwhile, Swerb's on his Vitreous fight. He's also going to use Cape Strats here, though he's going to use spins rather than constant slashes. He's almost out of magic, though, so he's got to be somewhat careful. He's got through phase 1. Now, more slashes on phase 2. Smack with the hammer. Slash with the sword. Swerb sets up for the sideways hammer hits, which is a little easier to deal with. Lewd is taking a quicker way back to the bomb to get to the Pyramid Fairy, since he does have Agahnim down. As Swerb finishes off Vitreous, he's got his second crystal. Let's see what he elects to do. Meanwhile, Lewd is making his pyramid check. What is in that pyramid? Got bombs and bombs. He's gonna refill a potion while he's here. So, Mire yielded nothing. And Swerb's gonna make the same check. These two are still following each other, step by step. The difference at this point, basically, is a couple of deaths that Swerb has taken. That's about it. And Lewd is going for Skull Woods. So the front of Skull Woods has been available to these runners since they got Dark World access, basically. And now we are going to see it. If something is here, it's something that these runners could have had almost an hour ago. Alright, here we go. Actually, LewdDolphin is heading straight for the back of Skull Woods. He wants nothing to do with the front. I guess that makes sense. He pulled out the fire rod, so... yeah. Alright, here we go. Lewd is heading to the back. And Swerb voices his frustration by returning one of the bombs to the Pyramid Fairy. Now, where is Swerb going? Is Swerb gonna go for Ice Palace? Yeah, this looks like an Ice Palace play. So yeah, I gotta believe at this point, with how these runners are playing, they're just gambling Skull Woods has nothing. But okay, Lewd is on the Mothula fight. We're seeing some divergence here. This could really change the race. Lewd makes quick work with the Mothula. What does he get? That's Quake. That opens Turtle Rock. And we're still looking for those boots. At this point, boots is go mode, basically. Because boots, you can get the bow. So that wasn't a bad move by Lewd, but we still don't know where the boots are. And there they are! The boots are in Ice Palace! Oh, that is big! Both runners find an item that the other still needs. And I gotta imagine, I think I gotta give the advantage to Swerb there, because Swerv's gonna go to Skull Woods before Turtle Rock. That could be a big swing in this match. So, Swerve found the boots. Lewd found Quake. Those are we're basically in no mode at this point. It's just a matter of when the other runner goes to pick up that other item. Okay, so definitely still a lot of race to play here. A lot of race. So Swerb is going to continue through Ice Palace. There is going to be some different advantages for both runners because, depending on how they check items, they might decide to go certain dungeons before others. Let's see what our runners elect to do. Swerb is going to continue through Ice Palace. We know he's not going to find anything else. I don't know which way Lewd is going to go at this point. I thought he might go Turtle Rock. Maybe he will go Ice. This will be a big deciding factor in this race right here. All right, let's see where Lewd goes. Lewd is going to Turtle Rock. This is a big potential switch. Oh, this could be a huge switch in the game. It depends on where Swerb goes after Ice. And Swerb finds the mushroom in Ice Palace. Lewd also did find the Mire Shield in Skull Woods. Oh my goodness. So Lewd is most likely going to full clear Turtle Rock here. Now, there's still stuff you could get in Turtle Rock that could help him. He could find... Mostly it would be sword upgrades at this point. Because neither runner would like to do Master Sword Ganon. Swerb finds his third item, he's going to go to Cold Stare. The other option Swerb does have is, since he knows where that bow is, he might elect to finish up Eastern and Pod first, though he knows there's not much left in either. But it wouldn't be too far out of his way. Though if he routes well, he could go into Skull Woods and finish that before picking up that bow. We'll have to see which way he goes. Lewd is starting his Turtle Rock checks. Alright, Swerb's on his cold stare fight. Pins cold stare in the corner, and he's burning cold stare pretty quick. That was about as textbook as you can get for cold stare. Lewd is working through the torch room. Alright. This is another big moment. Where does Swerb go? I gotta imagine he's gonna flute to 3. The question is where he goes after fluting to 3. Oh, he's gonna pick up potions first. Lewd's cleared the right side. Got a pretty good turtle rock. He's got 2 keys and the big key. Not much else there though, but just a piece of heart for the mushroom check. Alright, Swerb, where are you going? Yep, he's fluting the 3. What's he gonna do? He's going to the portal. Is he gonna make the Skull Woods play? Actually, yeah, he's got to be making the Skull Woods play. He's going to the portal. If he goes to Mothula, he'll be in go mode. So will Swerb check the front, or will he go straight to the back like Lewd did? Swerb's going straight to the back. This is about as good of a move as he could make, even though he doesn't know it. He kills Mothula, he'll be in go mode. Well, he'll essentially be in go mode. He'll have to still pick up the bow. Oh, he's going partial back. He's checking this middle chest first. For those of you who haven't been around for the full race, these runners have known since about 7 minutes in that the bow is at the lumberjack. But they needed, obviously, the boots to get it. And Swerb found the boots in Ice Palace. And Quake, we also need for go mode, is on Mothula. So Lewd is continuing his checks of Turtle Rock. I don't think he's picked up much. Yeah, he hasn't picked up much. It's mostly been keys so far. Though usually Laser Bridge is a little loaded. What does he find? Let's see what Lewd finds in Mimic Cave here. Just a piece of heart. Swerb is starting his Mothula fights. This shouldn't be too hard of a fight for him. Lewd gets a map in the big chest.
I am back.
It's nice to have you back.
That? My PC literally exploded. But enough about that. How's See, a lot has happened since I've been gone.
Well, Swerb is about to enter go mode.
There it is. See, it came down to Ice Palace versus T-Rock play.
It did, yes.
Ice versus Skull for Swerb, and then Ice versus T-Rock for Lewd, so...
Yeah. So, officially Swerv's not in go mode yet. He needs to go pick up his bow, but that's next door.
And Skull, but at the same time... Ice seemed just as fitting of a location. Was it in the first chest of Ice?
It was in the first chest of Ice.
That's horrible. And hilarious.
So unfortunately, LewdDolphin is full clearing Turtle Rock. Swerb will be able to go mode it, though I don't know if it'll be that much faster.
It's like... Depending on where... Was the big key in the vanilla spot in T-Rock, or was it...
I believe it was on the right side behind the fire rod room.
Yeah, because there's, I mean, a Go Mode T-Rock, like, the only real difference is you might get to, you know, you skip Mimic Cave, you might get to skip Laser Bridge. The difference compared to, like, a Go Mode Ice Palace. So Lewd will be able to save a little bit of time in Ice Palace, especially with boots in the first chest.
Yep, so he will have to make an extra climb of Death Mountain, too.
Awesome time, too.
But yeah, so officially at 1 hour, 40 minutes, Swerb has entered Go Mode. He's going to come over, finish Eastern and Pod first, and then make his climb to Turtle Rock.
Terrible scene. Who made this? Get him out of here. And the fact that after all of this, they're still both only on Master Sword, too, says something. So, it's like,
yeah,
if you get Go Mode early, you might check a few extra chests, and those could lead to, like, a sword upgrade, which would make a difference in this case, but Ice Palace versus full clearing T-Rock, and both players finding neither sword upgrades.
Yeah, it's been a crazy run. Now, Swerb is going to Pod. Because he saved that key, he can go straight to Helmistar King. Lewd did check the chest that Swerb skipped. It was just a replacement small key.
Yeah, so both of them should have just a small key.
Actually, Lewd will need to go... Yeah, actually, you're right. Yeah. They'll both have a small key going in. But I'd have to say, Swerv's at least a few minutes ahead right now.
Hard to tell, but he'll be in T-Rock by the time. Yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to tell. Breakdowns, spreadsheets of how much time each of these, like, finishing these dungeons cost. Because Lewd did go into Pod and, like, did most of it as well, so...
Alright. So, Lewd has finished Trinex. Swerb is heading into the basement. So, Lewd needs to go to Ice Palace to enter Go Mode. And he's got his fire rod out. I gotta imagine it's Ice Palace. Yep.
And Swerb will definitely, you know, he'll save a little bit of extra time because he went to Ice and he was able to do Skull into getting the bow, while Lewd will have to go back and grab that again before going back to Eastern Pod, so a little lost time there as well.
Yeah, Lewd will definitely save some time because he can Go Mode this. Or most of it, at least. And so yeah, they both have time savings. I guess it's going to come down to who gets to GT first. Because I feel like their execution has been pretty close. I mean, one of the biggest differences at this point is Swerv's taken a couple deaths.
Unfortunate ones. Like, that Argus death was pretty brutal.
And Lewd is going to pick up his boots. He's in Go Mode about 3 minutes after Swerb enters Go Mode.
He knows where the bow is. But yeah. Here's the thing, like, if it comes down to a difference in G-Tower routing, it could lead one player to get a Tempered Sword or something. Fortunately, they both have Cape and Half Magic, so even if they don't find a Tempered Sword, phases of Ganon aren't too bad when you have those safeties.
Yeah, exactly. The Swerb cleared out Pod. Now it's a quick trip to Eastern to clear that out.
Always love this the bomb strats in Ice Palace. So many bomb situations in this dungeon, like bombing the floor, set up so you don't have to hit the switch. I mean, the single bomb to take out the two Stalfos Knights, and the Ice Palace bomb jump, then the other bomb jumps that are in this dungeon if necessary.
I mean, at least Lewd is very close to a full bomb capacity. Like, I think he's got 45 capacity right now.
Let's see bomb strats from him on Helmisar. I'm out of here. my PC's gonna crash again.
Here's bomb strats on the penguins. Oh man, yeah, this is going to be close. I'm not sure who's going to be going into GT first. Swerve's about to finish. Swerve's about to finish Eastern, but he still has Turtle Rock to clear. He'll be able to clear a little faster, but not a ton faster. And Lewd is still checking a couple chests. Oh, I guess maybe he's just checking chests on the way. See if he gets a Tempered Sword.
Okay, go ahead. I think both these players are going to be putting the gauntlet up in G Tower if they don't find Tempered. But Swerb onto his
sixth. Yep, his 6th crystal. He's got. Now he climbs to Turtle Rock to get his 7th. It was kind of crazy because like an hour 15 in, I think both runners only had 1 crystal.
It's also just interesting how one can change everything. Like, you know, Swerb going to Ice Palace and finding the boots. Going to Skull Woods and finding the Quake Medallion. Both of them led to required items, but one required item led to going up to T-Rock.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of choices at this point.
We'll have one more choice left that might make a difference in this run, and that's going to be G-Tower routing. Most players will do the 2 on the right and then go full left to Ice Armos. There's a small key on the right side. Some players will mirror out and still go left. Some players will go right. It's going to be interesting to see what we got going on at that point. Swerb has a pretty good lead at this point.
Yeah. But the race
time to get through both Pod and Eastern, kill the boss, and then go to the opposite one and finish it as well.
Alright, Swerb is starting his Turtle Rock descent. Lewd grabs his bow. Okay, that's officially go mode for him.
Ugh. Not a good feeling.
Trying to think about how this Seed wanted you to route it. So you had to grab the hammer from the side of the desert after grabbing the book at Saharsala. Hammer led you to the gloves in Hype Cave, which led you up the mountain to grab the hook shot so you could finish Swamp to grab the flutes, and then go into the Mire area to grab the fire rod and Bombo so you can get into Mire. So you could go into Skull Woods to get Quake, as well as going to Ice Palace to get the boots.
Hey, both Fire Rod and Bombos were in the Mire area?
Yeah, Fire Rod was Checkerboard Cave, Bombos was in the shed.
Awful. And also we had the flippers that were over in Digging Game and the mitts that were in Bombable Hut, which played a big part. And then, you know, Ice Rod was in Cave. So the seed has been all over the place, and like normally like the most popular locations, like I mean Mini Boulder and Cave had the Moon Pearl, but like was pretty butts, if I recall correctly, other than the hook shot. So let's see, a lot of items like scattered everywhere, which explains why we have both these players at this ridiculous time. More than likely, unless it's like first chest, Big Key and GT will not be seeing a sub 2 hour from either of these players. Just a 5-minute climb up the gauntlet itself, and with Master Sword add maybe another minute.
Yeah, definitely no sub 2s here today. We'll see how well they climb. I mean, they're both more than capable of making a quick gauntlet climb, even with Master Sword, but it's still going to be a very interesting climb to watch. At the rate Swerv's going, and Lewd's going, I feel like Swerv's going to finish Turtle Rock as LewdDolphin's finishing Eastern.
Yeah. Swerve will probably be entering GT right as LewdDolphin is fluting to Death Mountain. Or ish.
And Swerve actually has...
I don't know.
And Swerve has 2 keys. He does not need to touch Laser Bridge.
Big chest either. He can just kill these pokies and head straight downstairs. So that is actually a very go mode friendly T-Rock.
Absolutely. He is low on hearts. Hopefully he'll powder an anti-fairy. But I guess it also depends. It also depends on how he feels. Does he feel like he's behind? Does it feel like he's ahead? I don't know if there's a way you can feel like you're ahead in this seed.
Would feel extremely behind with a death at Argus, regardless of how the seed played out.
Yeah, it's very true.
Lude probably feeling behind, knowing that he full cleared T-Rock for nothing. Now, if T-Rock had like a sword upgrade, like we'd be speaking differently.
Absolutely.
We still have so much in G Tower to explore, and oftentimes players will be comfortable going into GT with just a Master Sword because there's more than likely a chance that they'll find a Tempered Sword while looking for the big key.
Yeah, exactly.
Amount of chests that we have that we'll talk about after this this crystal grab. Living on the edge, a heart and a half. He better powder that anti-fairy good.
Yeah, he's been a little bit more safe since that Argus fight.
This was like going for that PB, then you could be a little risky.
PBs don't really count in rando. I'm sure you'll always remember like what your lowest time is, but yeah, PBs are just so dependent on the seed. Swerb is about to head into a Master Sword Tranix fight, so most likely we'll see Hammer Strats. Hammer Trinix can be a little tricky because when you're trying to hammer up, it's a little rough. But with a little bit of practice, this isn't that bad of a fight at all.
Yeah, it's not too bad. And interesting that Swerb decided to swap back over. Sometimes he's just going ham on him.
I think he's frustrated.
Can't imagine why. Just because of the ice floor that the ice head will lay down can kind of make it a little bit tricky if, say, Trinix decides to step a little to the left and then you're trying to like run up and hammer. You'll see a lot of players will go for that.
He's got to be careful. He's down to 2 hearts again. There he goes. All right.
Good fight.
And he is going to pick up his 7th crystal. I think
just a room away, so this is going to be really close. To play a part in how the rest of the seed goes. Whew.
So with that, I think there's a game we'd like to play, right?
I believe so. In fact, it is my favorite game. Coming up. Chests.
Yep.
And in one of those 22 chests will be a Ganon's Tower big key, which is required to finish the game. Guys, for this fun game, this is going to be...
Alright, so Swerve's about to enter. Lude is climbing Death Mountain. It could come down to a left to right decision.
He's going left. Is he going for the stupid route? Is he going to go Stalfos or Mire out? It's a crazy play, but sometimes it works, and you'll see people feeling desperate that they'll go for this play. And the reason why players will do it is if they're anticipating the big keys on the right side, but the first 2 chests on the right side do not have a small key. Number 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, what do we got? Small key in chest 2. That's 3. Small key.
Keep it going. Alright, Lemon.
He is going that route, so he's mirroring to the right.
rando room that's going to allow LewdDolphin, if he goes right to left, to make up a little bit of time. There's the Tempered Sword.
And there's the big key.
Woo! Wow.
So that'll
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whoever gets 7 is our lucky winner. Dolphin goes straight right. He's gonna save.
Yeah, he's gonna save. He's gonna save himself like a minute if he goes straight right.
The only problem is he'll still have to go left to go grab a small key, because
the last thing you want to do, especially with how many keys we saw in the Stalfos room, is go up the gauntlet with 0 keys and just hope that there's another key up in the chest. We've seen some races come down to players forgetting that small key and having to mirror out, find a key, and then go back up, and it is absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah, Luda's going right. He is going to grab his Tempered Sword and his big key. He will have to go left to grab that small key, and it's going to be a race.
Down to, well, at this point, it's just all execution. Better Agahnim patterns. Who gets a double on Ganon phase 4? You know, stuff like that. Who gets the one-on-one? And it's going to be interesting to see if either player decides to check a few more chests along the way, if they're wanting that gold.
I
wouldn't. I'd be comfy with Tempered Silvers.
Yeah, same. I'd be comfy with Tempered Silvers. The only thing that might be a little nice is red mail, but I don't know if I'm that desperate to check for it.
But all those individual chests are going to add up, and for instance, LewdDolphin's going to have to take a few extra seconds to kill one of the mini Helmisars to get an extra small key. But yeah, at the end of the day, the difference between Gold Sword and Tempered is not like significant if you can get the 12 hits on both phase 1 and phase 2 in one cycle.
Oh, Swerb gets a nice one cycle there. Looked like he was going to miss it. But he's down to 2.5 hearts.
Back up to 3.5. I mean, these rooms coming up can be a little tricky. Okay, he's using the red potion that he got at the. That was the red potion from Zelda's cell, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. The one he's been holding on to this whole time.
For that, he's waiting for the moment. Clean rooms from both these players. LewdDolphin. See if he gets some good RNG with these blue horse heads. And they all walk towards him, so that's good. He's going to be able to save some time there. The one cycle on land almost too.
Swerve's going the right upstairs. He doesn't need the magic refill.
Gonna have hearts. Not gonna powder the bunny beam to get full health or get more health, so he's feeling pretty comfy. He's feeling confident. He's got a goal. He got it too. Incredible. Clutch landless from both these players.
All right, here we go. Moldorm 2 fight. This could also decide some stuff. Oh, Swerve had to play a little dangerous one more time there.
Yeah. He got the spin-off too before. I'll watch out for if he's giving you that kind of weird pattern. But Swerve will be the first one into the Aga 2 fight. LewdDolphin not too far behind, a few screens behind.
There's still so much that can decide this race. I don't know. Like, this race is far from over.
It's a very nice pattern. That could be an easy triple right there. And he gets it. But he gets a 0.
So LewdDolphin has to stop here to grab a key.
All right, one more hit on Aga 2. We'll put him down.
Not checking. So Swerve's through it. Lew's not checking any chests either, and Lew's down to a heart.
Stop to ferry to powder the fairies for sure. Unless he does have a fairy on him.
Alright, here we go. Ganon fight coming for Swerb. Nutrition lesson as Lewd finishes off Moldorm. Swerv's going for fast. Yeah, Swerv's late race to lose, absolutely.
Cycle on phase 1. Buzzing. Wants to be comfortable. He could use the cape to get free hits on him, and it looks like he's going to be doing that.
Yeah, not a bad idea. You got full magic, you got half magic. And he should be phase 3, okay.
Missing the triple on the first one. Let's see if he can get some out of this one since Swerb had missed both of them. Gets one!
Swerv's on his 3rd hit. Or one more hit, he'll be in the last phase.
Dropping these attacks on Aga. Gonna add phases to it.
Alright. Set up.
He's gonna do it! And at this rate, he's gonna be walking to that Triforce room right as LewdDolphin enters the fight, which is always heartbreaking. And that is gonna do it. Swerb takes down Ganon as long as he doesn't accidentally fall into the hole, which would be unfortunate and has never happened to him before. Swerb is going to be taking this race. And indeed.
And Swerb finishes an official speed racing TV time of 2 hours, 1 minute, and 47 seconds.
Sorry. Just stop right there, Triforce. You don't need to say anymore. We get it.
You should be sorry after this race.
I didn't realize how incredibly close these two were routing, so even Swerb's unfortunate deaths early in the run was not enough to make up time, and that play into T-Rock versus Ice Palace, which is still a good play, was unfortunately not the one. We'll be moving on to up to 3-1, and LewdDolphin will be falling to 2-2. Both still running for those bracket spots, of course, but of the cast, you know, 2 losses, you got to win out. It's a scary place to be, but we're gonna see if we can get Swerb on in here.
Yeah, we'll probably wait to bring Swerb in until Lewd finishes his Ganon fight. And down goes Ganon for LewdDolphin. And LewdDolphin has officially finished with an official speed racing TV time of 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 27 seconds. We will be getting Swerb in chat. He's taking a quick break, and we'll see if we can get Lewd in chat as well.
What an incredible seed. What series of events. And for these players still to come down and finish so close to each other despite having... Well, they actually followed in each other's footsteps pretty much the entirety of the run until post-Mire. That's when it split. Jeez, man. That was a crazy one.
Yeah. Oh. And we're now joined by LewdDolphin here in chat. GG.
GG. So, I mean, how did you feel overall about that?
For
the past hour, I felt like I was horribly behind. Knowing the bow was on Lumberjack Cave super early, but not finding the boots until it was my go mode item just felt awful. And gambling Turtle Rock over Ice Palace and losing out on that gamble felt pretty bad.
Yeah. You're actually ahead until basically after Mire, because actually it was after it was after Mire, because you went to Skull Woods. Swerb, after Mario, went to Ice Palace, grabbed the boots. And then you went to Turtle Rock, and Swerb went to Skull Woods to get his go mode.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
It was incredibly close, like, throughout the entirety of the run. And you guys both pretty much stayed on pace with each other the entire time. Swerb having some unfortunate at, like, Argus and such kept you in the lead for a good chunk of it, especially at the beginning, the opening up going to Desert first before making the Aga play.
Yeah, I put off Aga because I realized, like, I mean, it is an Aga seed. I know it's an Aga seed. I have to fight Agahnim at some point. But I have 5 Hearts Fighter Sword, and it was just seemed like it was an awful idea to go into there. I wanted some more safeties, and getting that hammer from Desert Ledge at least, you know, vindicated that decision.
Yeah, well, Swerb had us all...
It wasn't our fight, you know, let me tell you.
Half Heart Aga fight was just ridiculous, and... I think JP has some questions for you.
I mean, yeah, like, well, sort of, what was your thinking going into Aga that early? I mean, we still had other places to check.
I don't know. I was basically taking a little risk, obviously. Sometimes you just gotta do that. And since I knew it was an Aga seed, I was like, I'll just go in here. I have the Mire, so I was like, I can check Saucerola's hut on the way to Pod and do like all of that stuff that I did. And then unfortunately I found the book behind him, and that's when I was like, oh no. Just because as Lewd has mentioned, there might have been, you know, safeties or something to help out with climbing the hammer and climbing the tower, and obviously there's the hammer. Because as soon as I found that book, I was like, oh, there's going to be something in Desert for sure. But I kind of just committed to my route and went back and checked all of Eastern and all of Pod I could and found, like, nothing for my troubles.
Yeah. We saw you playing relatively risky throughout the run and taking some unfortunate deaths because of it, particularly the Argus fight.
Yeah, that one, I was super tilted after that, and I thought I was, like, done for. Like the stuff, like the thing that makes that and like the blind death so aggravating is like I had like so many safeties, but I was like, nah, I'm fine, and then I wasn't fine.
It was gave Lewd a little bit of a lead for a good chunk of it, and then it really came down to both your all's choices following Misery Mire.
You went to Skull Woods, didn't you?
You went to Skull up to T-Rock while you went to Ice.
Yeah, and
that, and it's still that close. The difference of like a Go Mode T-Rock versus a Go Mode Ice Palace.
And it was the best Go Mode T-Rock with the early keys. Like, as I got the second key before in the room with the chain chomps, I realized, oh god, if this is Go Mode TR, I'm so screwed.
We were actually wondering for the longest time, because you guys kept putting off Skull Woods, so we were wondering for the longest time if there was something in the front there.
Boots being in the front of Skull Woods, because it would have been perfect. It would have been just the perfect place to put him, because then you could have gotten him, mirrored, got your bow, then did all the routing like Graveyard Ledge, King's Tomb, to Catfish Zora to get your Kata Savaria. You guys actually did the exact same route, like, to the Dark World. Or once you both got into Village of Outcasts. Exact same.
Like, we both did the purple chest into Kane.
It was
perfect. I mean, it made sense.
And I'm sure you guys were both like, chest or check Skull Woods. One of these two. Because, of course, you can't take purple chest with you. You take it on that long tour just to get that red rupee.
Yeah, that was nice.
These are not the boots I was looking for.
Yeah, I mean, I was worried the whole time that, like, there could have been boots or fire rod or something in front of Skull Woods, but I was just kind of banking on there not being anything.
Yeah, I was trying to be super thorough looking for those boots.
I mean, they could be in so many places, so it makes sense. Last, like, interesting bit, I'd say, was despite the Go modes, and Lude having to go get the bow, then go back to Eastern Pod. Like, it wasn't that far apart going into GT. Swerb was entering GT right as you flew to Death Mountain. Swerb taking the stupid route, going left to Stalfos' room, finding 3 small keys and a heart piece.
I was climbing Ganon's Tower with 5 small keys, and I was like, I don't know if I've ever had this many small keys going up Ganon's Tower before.
And then Lude, of course, going straight, going to the normal route, the default route of checking the 2 chests on the right first, getting Temperate and Big Key. I'm sure both you guys were very much relieved to see that Temperate Sword there.
Yeah, I felt. I was worried about going in to fight Ganon with a Master Sword, and I was tempted to flute to the Witch Hut to get a potion, but then I felt, oh god, if this is close or if I'm behind, I can't take that time loss.
Yeah, that was part of why I was holding on to that red potion, because I was like, just in case it ends up being this Master Sword Ganon fight. But I was more concerned about if I had to fight Master Sword Ganon and Lude, I picked up a sword somewhere. Because, like, especially near the end of the seed, I was like, once I went and did Skull Woods, and I, like, rushed the back, I was gonna, like, basically do, like, a reverse clear so I could, like, check the bonk stuff afterwards. And so I, like, rushed him off, and he dropped Quake, and I was like, oh, sweet. And I was like, my only hope for winning this is if Lude... Because, yeah, there was, like... You went to Mire area, and you had Bombos and Fire Rod right there, and you had, like, Mire, Ice Palace, and Skull Woods all fully opened up right there. And so my only hope was that he went to do Skull Woods and Turtle Rock once I found those boots in Ice Palace.
Also, shoutouts to Mire Annex having Mire's medallion 9 times out of 10.
It's so refreshing to see it there every time.
Yeah, looking at the collection rates on your screens, I mean, a bigger difference than I was expecting. Swerb at 151, Lude at 165.
That's a T-Rock full clear for you. And yeah. Where the other differences would have been. You guys checked pretty much everything together.
I mean, I skipped at least a handful of things in Skull Woods because I just went pretty much straight for Moth.
I went straight to Moth. Then I went on the reverse route and got the second item in the last possible spot, so...
But, yeah, overall, this was fun. This was a crazy seed, so finishing that monstrosity. I've never seen a start like that in a long time. GG's to both of you guys. If you guys got any final words, feel free.
It was a good race, Swerb, and GG.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to watch this. I'm back.
Me too.
It was super close, so yeah, good game. Close race, and good luck in the next round.
It's really excited because I was missing for half of it, so.
Oh, man. I thought you were gonna, like, just dumpster on me for, like, 2 hours.
Was there, but I missed. You'll see. Anyway,
well, thank you for commentating half of our race, Willard. I appreciate that. Man. Thank you, JP, for carrying Willard through commentary.
No problem.
Thank you to everyone else as well, the tracker and restreamers and all that stuff.
Big time thanks to Wolflink for tracking this race, and of course for my boy Bruce Fan JP for holding the fort while I was MIA, and of course for commentating. This was a lot of fun. So much for watching.
Yep. Had a good.
And more Link to the Past Randomizer going on across the Speed Gaming Network today. And if you guys enjoyed this race, of course, feel free to support any way you see fit, whether you want to follow him on Twitch or whatnot. So, Jay Bradley, and still is. Thank you guys for having me. See you next time.
Have a good day, everybody.
Have a good day.